Hello, everyone. Those of you who know me from Facebook or follow my YouTube channel know that I have been using Classin to teach my Chinese students for many years now, and I've also made tons of videos about Classin and how to use the different features. So you're probably going to be surprised to find out that I have switched all of my students over to Koala Go. So in this video, I'm going to be comparing the main features of the two platforms, talking about which one is better in each feature. Some Classin is better, some Koala Go is better. And at the end, I'm going to tell you why I personally switched over to Koala. So I made this to kind of visually show you the main differences between the two. And I'm not going to go into too much detail on each of these features because that would make this video way too long. So if you have any additional questions or want me to make some videos about the different features in Koala, let me know. So first, the main difference is that Classin is an app and Koala Go is on a website. So this was a big reason that I was a little hesitant to switch over to Koala in the beginning, because my students are very comfortable with using the Classin app. It's a Chinese app. It's easy for them to download. It's easy for them to enter. I'm not going to lie, switching over to the website was a little tricky for some of my students. A lot of them are not as comfortable using a website on their iPad, but as long as you are prepared and you're able to work with the parents to get everything situated, teach them how to log into Koala Go from their iPad, after the first time, it's smooth sailing from there. So I was a little hesitant about that, but it has not been a problem for me, and it has not been a problem for my students either. So that is a big, big difference. That will take time for you and your students to get used to, but I promise you will get used to it, and they will too. The second big difference is Classin has their big LMS system and scheduling system where you can input their classes, they can see their times, you can put in their homework, tons of different features. Well, Koala does not have that. There is no LMS and there is no scheduling system. This was another thing I was a little hesitant about. Because I'm just so used to doing the scheduling on Classin, and it's nice for me to be able to look at my schedule and for my students. Well, I don't think my students actually really looked at their schedule ahead of time anyway, and I found that I'm actually enjoying not having to put the schedule in. Even though I could do the batch scheduling, it's one less thing for me to have to do. And daylight savings just passed, and I didn't have to worry about changing anything on my schedule. It was wonderful. I did have to have a new system for myself just to keep track of my classes because I relied on that scheduling system on Classin, but it has not been a problem for me, and it has not been a problem for my students because they have classes at the same time every week anyway. So it's very easy for them to keep track of that themselves. As far as the homework, well, the app on Classin is free to use. The only thing you pay for are the classes. So I'm continuing to use the LMS homework system on Classin. I put the homework in their courses, they're able to complete it, I can check it, and then we review it together on Koala. Easy. Then we have number 3, the Blackboard. Classin, we know, has their Blackboard, and Koala should not say Blackboard, that should say Whiteboard. Only difference is one's black and one's white. They pretty much function the same way. Just like on Classin, you can put images, drag images onto the Blackboard. You can write with the annotation tools. You can type text onto the whiteboard, and they even have a sticky note system, which I like. Of course, they have different color pens, different color sticky notes, text that you can use. You can lock things, move things forward and backwards, delete, etc. So they're very, very similar in how they work, but there are, of course, some differences there. And again, I'm not going to get into those details, but if you want to know more, I can make a video about that. Then we have number 4. This kind of relates to the Blackboard and the whiteboard. Classin, of course, has their EDBs, which is basically you just put whatever you want on the Blackboard, you can save that file, and you can reuse it with your students. Well, Koala has their own system. It's called their activities. So again, you could put images, text, whatever you want on the whiteboard. And then you can save that whiteboard as an activity. And then you can use it over and over again with your students. So pretty similar. Number 5, this is the big one. So we know Classin has their browser, but the browser has its limitations. You can only open one page at a time. There's no tabs, and only the teacher can interact with the browser. The student can write on it, type on it, but they're not able to use their mouse. That's something that myself and many teachers have been wanting for a long time on Classin, and they have not even started working on that, and they don't plan to anytime soon. Koala has their infamous co-browser. So this is a browser that you open, you can put the websites in, you can save tabs, have multiple tabs open at the same time, but the best part is the student can interact, even on an iPad. And you can do it, depending on the website you're using, you can do it at the same time. So you can drag, the student can drag, you could write on it, type on it. Both of you can do those things. And that makes lessons that are interactive. So if you use a web-based curriculum like I do, Learnaling, now my student is able to actually interact with the lessons, and I can tell you they have enjoyed it. It's so much better, so much more fun for them. Then we have the reward system. Classin, of course, has their trophies, which are pretty cool, especially when you can change them for the different holidays. Koala also has a reward system, but theirs is different. They have a star that you can give, and they have fireworks, and they have gems, which are related to the playground, which I'll talk a little bit about. So I like the Classin reward system a little bit better, personally, but I've noticed that my students don't really care about rewards anymore. In the beginning, I think they were excited about the trophies, but I do it, but I don't think they really care about them. So I don't think it really makes a big difference. Number 7, tech support. We know Classin has their tech support in the app, where you're in a big group with tons, sometimes hundreds of other teachers, and you have the 24/7 tech support where they answer your questions. So it's kind of hit and miss with tech support on Classin. You have the language barrier because the tech support staff are Chinese. And then you also have the issue with you might have like 10 other teachers typing and trying to get help at the same time. It becomes a little bit chaotic. Well, Koala's tech support is so much better. They have one-on-one tech support, and you can actually see it here, right here, 24/7. While I'm in my classroom, can get support where they're only talking to me. Well, I'm sure they're talking to other teachers in their classrooms too, but I don't have to worry about trying to compete with other teachers and wondering, did they see my question? So it is so much nicer to have it directly in the classroom where they can help you immediately. Then we have playground versus no playground. So Classin doesn't have any type of playground, where Koala has their playground. I'm not going to show it to you, but if you are familiar with Minecraft, it's very similar to that, like a block system where you can build, your student can build. But the great part about it is you can turn it into a learning space. So it's not just playing a game of Minecraft. You can actually build a learning interactive space. I personally don't use it, and I may never use it. I don't know. I don't have the time to build, but there are teachers who love building playgrounds, and you can actually purchase the playgrounds pre-made with content, or you can add your own learning content, and you can use it with your students. It's pretty cool, but I just haven't had enough time to play around with it myself. Then we have number 9, the drive. So on Classin, you have your drive where you can put PowerPoints, you can upload PDFs, you can upload images, videos, sound, etc. And then when you're ready for class, you can just open it in the classroom. Well, Koala, I put 2 things here, and I'll tell you why. So they have the activities, which I talked about, similar to EDBs. I put that because you can upload, it's right here, you can upload PowerPoints, images, and PDFs onto your whiteboard. Keep in mind, if it's a PDF with animation, the animation will not work on the whiteboard. So you can then upload it, then you can save it as an activity, and then reuse it in different classes, similar to the drive. Then I put /co-browser and I spelled browser wrong, co-browser, because if you have a video or audio, depending on the audio, there is a way to add audio to the whiteboard now. But if you had an MP4, for example, or a PowerPoint that did have animations, you would have to open that in the co-browser. So what I do if I have something like that would be either save it to your Google Drive or OneDrive if you have that, and then you just open the co-browser, open your Google Drive or your OneDrive, and you can play it like that. So it's very simple to do that without having a special drive for that information. Then number 10, this is important to a lot of teachers, the recording of your lessons. So ClassN, we know, have the manual recording where you can save it to your computer and then send it to the student, or they have the cloud recording where it saves in the app and then the parent or student can access that video in the app. Koala does have a recording, but they don't have a cloud recording for independent teachers. So it would be similar to the manual recording on ClassN. So you can see the record button is up here. You would start the recording. At the end of class, you stop the recording, and then you would download it and save it to your computer, and then you would have to send it to the student. So as you can see, there are a lot of very similar features. They all have the same thing, but they're just slightly different on how they function in the classroom. And then you have the big question is, how much does it cost? Well, ClassN has their subscription model. If you do the 1-year subscription, you pay $300 a year for unlimited classes. For Koala, for their 1 year, if you pay 1 full year up front, it is $263.88 a year. So it's actually cheaper to use Koala Go than it is for ClassN in the long run. And that includes unlimited classes, that includes the recording, all of those features that I've talked about. So a lot of teachers have asked me when I've told them that I switched to Koala, why? Why did you switch to Koala Go? Like I said, there are a lot of great things about ClassN. It's easy to use, the scheduling. But the big thing that made me switch over to Koala is number 5, the co-browser. When I started using ClassN, I thought for sure by now they would have a functioning co-browser, but they don't. And I have asked several times, and every time, even recently up to last week, I was told it's not a priority. It's not something that they're going to be working on anytime soon. So I had to make the decision, do I want to stay with ClassN, knowing they may never have a co-browser, or am I ready to move on to something that has the co-browser and I can finally use the lessons the way that I want to use them? Of course, there are other things that I love about Koala as well, including the tech support is the big thing. That's 2 things that I have loved about Koala so far. Also, I was very surprised that I really like the whiteboard. I wasn't sure how I would like it because it is slightly different of how it works compared to ClassN, but it has a lot of great things that make it actually easier when sharing images, and especially like from different websites that I can put and show my students, and it's a lot faster to enlarge them and make them clear and easy for my students to see. So the big selling point for me was the co-browser, but a couple other benefits, the tech support and the whiteboard. Those are the reasons why I switched over to Koala Go. If you have any more questions for me of why I like those features better than ClassN, or you want some more information about those features or want me to make videos about any of these features, let me know and I'll be happy to do that and answer any of your questions. There is a way to get a 1-month free trial by using my affiliate link, but do not start the free trial until you have set up a free account of Koala Go. There is a free account that you can use. It's limited in what you can do, but get the free account first. Work on onboarding your students, getting them set up, making sure they can log in, making sure they understand how to log in, because that could take a week to do. So don't start a free trial until you've got your students set up, ready to go. That way you can use that full month to actually use it with your students and get the most out of that 1 month free trial. And if you do sign up after that 1 month, you can get 20% off. And of course, I will always be willing to help with onboarding, helping answer questions, helping with anything that you need if you do want to test out and try Koala Go. So find me on Facebook. I will also share my ClassIn account with you. So if you want to send me a private message on ClassIn, we can chat that way as well. Bye, everyone.